Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today, guys, we're going to discuss the number 9 in regards to Chaldean name numerology. So the number 9 is the final number for this chapter, guys. Like I said in the very beginning, the name that you go by the most, meaning the name that has the most sound vibration, is what I'm referring to here. So for instance, my name is Shem Roy, but I go by Shem. So that vibrates to the number 17/8. So I consider that my name number. And that's how I'm illustrating it throughout this chapter. It's the name that you go by the most, even if it's a nickname, even if it's not your real government name, but it's what people call you the most, meaning a lot of the people around you. If those vibrations are what's being pushed, then that's what you have to consider your name number in Chaldean numerology. In the Pythagorean, it's barely different because they just use the name that you're born with, okay? So with the number 9, this is sort of like the family number, it's the humanitarian. This is a person with high ideals, a lot of self-righteousness, a person that's really into their own ideologies and wants to give those ideologies to the world. It's always coming from great intentions. Some number 9s end up doing this in a good way. Some of them end up doing it in a bad way through war and upheaval. But it is what it is. No number is good or bad. They just are what they are. And we just illustrate what they are in numerology, what they symbolize, and what their sort of capacity in the physical realm is. So without further ado, we have the number 18 for the first compound number with the number 9. This is the most materialistic number 9 compound because it has number 1, which is about leadership, innovation, it's the sun. Number 8, which is Saturn, it's all about money, business, status. Then the number 9 is about an ideology. So this is a very violent sort of number. It's symbolized by a full moon, a red moon that's sort of bleeding. It's like dripping blood, and the wolf has its mouth open below it. And then the blood is just going into the wolf's mouth, and then around the wolf there's literally crabs crawling around. This is the symbolism that they have for this number 18. And what this means is the death of spirituality into materialism. The wolves consider that to be a dog-eat-dog world. It's the materialism, and the moon is like your subconscious, your spiritual side. So what the 18 is saying is that the 1 and the 8 overpower the 9 in that sense, and it makes this person somebody who's willing to go to war for what they want. They're very aggressive, and they're very status-oriented. They do have a lot of self-righteous behavior as well. I mean, they actually do want to do good things. However, a lot of the time it turns into something bad, just simply because this is such a hard number to control, for one. And two, usually when people try to go for justice and some sort of like equality in the world, through their quest into doing that, they end up becoming corrupted by the world. So that's kind of the story with the number 18. Moving on with the next one, we have the number 27. This is the number of the scepter. This is the person that has what you call like a scepter that they can hold in their hand, and it's the number of command. This number is very much all about like working with other people and using constructive intellectualism to get ahead in life. It's number 2, which is the moon, number 7, which is the Kietu, which is south node of the moon, and then you get number 9. Usually 7 and 9 have a bit of a rife with each other. They don't really get along. In this case, it just makes a very holy combination because the 2 and the 7 are very compatible. So what we have is somebody who is very much able to command the people around them. People will literally just follow what they say because they have a very commanding and I guess self-assuring sort of presence. So they're kind of just considered the leader of the ship by default. And these guys are definitely able to get ahead if they actually use their intellectualism and follow through with their own plans. It's the number 1 advice for you guys, is to make sure you're following through with your own plans, and you will actually get ahead. The only time the number 9s, I want to rewind a bit, is the only time you wouldn't really use this as a name number. I'd recommend maybe making people call you something different would be if your life path was number 7 specifically. Just simply because the 7 and the 9, the 7 is the most spiritual number, whereas the 9 is the most ideological number. These guys have a weird relation with one another, Mars and Kietu, and as a result they don't make for much of a good compatibility, especially with a name number and when somebody has a life path at that. Even if it's your birth number, a number 7, the name number 9 will not work the best for you. In any other combination, it's okay. It could be, you can work through it, but if you have a 7 as your birth or life path number, I wouldn't really recommend it. The next one I want to cover though is the number 36. 36 is the heavenly triad complete. This is like, it's arguably the most powerful. The number 27 is considered to be one of the most holy numbers in numerology, but then the number 36 is 3, 6, 9. So what you get is somebody who has the heavenly triad ability to manifest whatever it is that they want in life. They're just like the 27, where they have a lot of intellectual capabilities. They could be a scholar in university, and they're able to use their smarts to get ahead in life. So these are the type of people that you see as like professors, doctors, engineers. just because they're able to use that sort of mental capacity to find a nice niche for themselves. And usually it involves like working for a company, but they are very highly paid. This is a very highly paid number. And if they do go into business, they kind of have that kick-ass energy where they just really get ahead quickly because they're able to show even the people above them a lot of their power. I mean, they're the type of people that will go into a business room and say, I demand a raise right now, or go to a business proposal and just leverage the person completely. They have that sort of ability, the larger than life sort of persona to get things done. All right. The last one is the number 45. This is the most business oriented version of the 9 that I consider. The 8 seems the most materialistic, but the most business successful one is the 45. The reason why you have 4, which is Rahu, 5, which is Mercury, adding to 9. 5 brings speed to 9. And then you have the number 4 is bringing that sort of pragmatism to it. So that sort of strategic, analytical mind, the detail orientation. When you put these 3 numbers together, 4, 5, and 9, you get somebody who's really good for like things like accounting, being a stockbroker, anything to do with data analyzing. Anything in that lane is going to work very well for them because they're just able to kind of like put together concepts very, very quickly. They're able to see through what needs to be done and just get it done without much of a problem. So a lot of people consider these people like sort of like godlike or just invisible in the sense that they don't get stressed much. They really have a natural knack for business. It's like how a fish goes into water, they can go into business and they just get things done. No matter what you throw them in, they're going to adapt to it by analyzing, adapting, and then pretty much taking it over eventually. So it's a very, very good number to have. A lot of the compound numbers of 9 are very powerful. They're very forceful. They're able to get what they want, but they just go about it in very different ways. But yeah, that should finalize this video, guys. If you have any questions whatsoever, just please leave it in the comments for me. But aside from that, like, subscribe. Holla me for today, guys. Peace.